This is James Brookes here from Evertrapped, and yeah, so we're gonna answer some outlandish questions here. Before we get into that, everybody feel free to check out our latest album, The Last Extinction. Came out on May 22nd, and yeah, it's available pretty much anywhere you can find stuff. If you got Spotify, it's on Spotify, iTunes, any of that stuff. If you've got it, then you've got the album. You just got to download it, and there you go. Other than that, on Bandcamp, you can buy it if you want to get it with all the liner notes and all the artwork and everything. Bandcamp, you can get it there. Just search, look up Evertrapped, and you'll find it. It's the latest thing, so The Last Extinction, last album that came out.
If you had to give up one thing for the rest of your life, would it be brushing your hair or brushing your teeth?
Definitely brushing my hair. I used to have dreads for a pretty long time, so I didn't really ever have to brush my hair for at least a decade. So I tell you, I didn't miss it. So I definitely have to go with not brushing my hair, because I'm already more or less used to not having to brush my hair. So I'm perfectly comfortable not having to go back to that. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to go with brushing my hair there.
Would you rather be a hobbit or an elf for 24 hours?
People who know me probably would have said I would have gone with an elf, but to be perfectly honest with you, I think I'd go with a hobbit. They look like they live in a pretty kickback lifestyle, and I think I could get into that. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and yeah, I definitely have to. If I had to pick one in the end, I'd have to go with the hobbit lifestyle. I'm living on the Shire and just kicking it relaxed with, get the pipe out and just. And a keg of ale. I could definitely get into that on a regular basis. So yeah, definitely going with a hobbit here.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would have to be probably barbecued hamburgers forever. I'd be dead somewhere in my 40s, I'm sure, if I did that. But if I had to choose one, that'd have to be it, man. Burgers on the grill. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I make some pretty sweet-ass burgers on the grill, and I gotta tell you, if I could eat those for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. I could do that every day, no problem. I'd be fine with that.
What set of items could you buy that would make the cashier the most uncomfortable?
Well, I mean, I'm sure I could find other combinations, but I may have done this to a certain extent if the cashier had any sense of humor whatsoever. I don't know. I didn't, obviously didn't ask, but many years ago, this is a true story, many years ago I had a pet dog that I was sharing with somebody, this ex of mine, it doesn't matter. And anyway, the dog was young and all that stuff, and he always tell me like, oh, they go nuts for peanut butter, right? And which I heard, and I was like, I didn't know if that was real or not. So it turns out it was, and so I had to go get him like some dog food and like these little treats. I got him and stuff like that. And so I go to the store and I'm like, oh, I not only was I out of peanut butter to begin with, but I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. And I also like to get a case of beer. So I'm standing there at the cash with dog treats, peanut butter, and a case of beer. And if the cashier had any sense of humor, let's just put it this way, if I was working behind the cash at that one, I'd be asking myself some serious questions like, man, what are you planning on doing tonight? So there you go. So if that cashier had any good sense of humor, I'm pretty sure that was really relatively uncomfortable or hilarious, one or the other.
Would you rather have nosy neighbors or noisy neighbors?
I'd rather have nosy neighbors, because nosy neighbors you could just tell them to go fuck themselves, whereas noisy neighbors you can tell them to go fuck themselves all you want. They probably usually don't change their attitude or do anything about it. They just keep being noisy and stupid. So I'm good with nosy neighbors, because once you tell them to piss off, they usually do. So yeah, and either way, I don't really care if anybody tries to horn into my business. There's only so much you can do when the door's locked. You can't get in, so there you go.
How do you feel about putting pineapple on a pizza?
I'm an avid pizza maker. I do not buy frozen pizzas anymore for many years now. I only make homemade pizza. I make from scratch, and I will tell you now, never in my life will I ever put pineapple on a pizza. I've never understood it. To this day, I don't understand it. I know people trip over this. I don't get it. But never. I'm never putting pineapple on a pizza ever. I will never eat it. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. So the answer is, that's how I feel about it, and the answer is no.
If you could have dinner with any currently alive person in the world, who would it be?
Most people would have thought I would have went for like a musician or something like that, but actually it's not. If I had to pick somebody, I think I'd sit down and have dinner with Seth MacFarlane. I, for some reason, get this just based on the comedy I see, and I see him in interviews and stuff like this. I don't know, like maybe maybe I'd ever end up meeting the guy, and it turns out we'd end up hating each other. I have no idea, but for some reason, I get the idea that'd be a fun night. I could see that being a really fun night. I bet the guy's a riot to hang out with, and I get a feeling, a sense of humor. I mean, I dig his sense of humor, man. I love everything he does. So, if I had to pick anyone that I don't have dinner with, and then in the end, so probably a lot of drinking happening afterwards, possibly. Should get the feeling he'd be down to party too. So if that's the case, yeah, I definitely have to say Seth MacFarlane, 100%.
We finish the interview and you step outside the office and find a lottery ticket that ends up winning $10 million. What would you do?
The first thing I'd do is cash it, just to make sure that it's real and not a load of horse shit. So, but obviously after cashing it, of course, the first thing I'd probably do is I'd probably buy a house immediately. I'd look immediately for a house somewhere to live in, like out in the country somewhere. That's like, your neighbor. It takes 15 minutes to drive to your neighbor's house. That's probably the first thing I'd do, is do that. And and then I quit my job or cut it down to like some part-time thing just so I don't get bored. And that'd be with life, you know what I mean? But if I had 10 million, that's probably what I'd do. The first thing I'd do is, after cashing it, would be buy a house. Like I rent a really nice house. Not that I don't like the place I live now, but yeah, some nice, sweet ass joint, and you got a big piece of land out in the country. I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
If you could be any animal in the world, what animal would you be, and why?
I would be a pygmy gecko, which I know sounds like an odd choice, but for anybody who's seen BBC's Life, which is part of the BBC Earth series, pygmy geckos are awesome. They're about that big. Maybe about, I don't know, that big. Whatever. Close enough. And they can pretty much evade most predators of that size or bigger because they're so small they can just literally jump out of a tree, land on water, and float. They don't even drown because their skin's hydrophobic, on top of the fact that they're so light that they wouldn't drown anyway. So they're like this invincible little lizard that just gets around everybody and just fucks with everybody. It's great. And I was like, man, I saw that and I was like, dude, that's awesome. This guy's got it all going on. So yeah, pygmy gecko, 100%. That's the animal.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, since I haven't finished growing up yet, 36, and I'm still not there yet, I want to be a rock star, man. Yeah. That's pretty much it, though. I mean, realistically, some people have been like, well, you had some dream as a backup. Like, no, not really. That's pretty much the long and short of it. Haven't made it there yet, and it's a really good possibility it's not going to happen anyway, but, I can keep dreaming, right? So there you go. When I grow up, if and when I grow up, hopefully I'll be able to accomplish that.
What do you work towards in your free time?
Making my own beer. I'm big on making homebrew. I love making homebrew. I love brewing my own beer. It's so much fun. You get to make it the way you like it. I try pretty much every microbrew I can get my hands on, within the kinds of beers that I like. And making my own beer, man. When we were quarantined, I made so much of it. Now I got tons. I got stock now. It's great. Making my own beer. That's where it's at, man.
How would you rate your memory?
I rate my memory as being actually pretty good, but also very selective. If I don't give a shit about something, I typically have trouble committing it to memory. But there'll be the broad strokes of it, they'll still kind of be there, you know what I mean? But then again, if there's something I actually like whether I'm actually paying attention to it or not, it just sticks. If there's some conversation that I know I'm supposed to be assimilating this information for some reason, I don't know why, everything just sticks, and somebody comes to me like, well, I never said that. I'll be like, actually, I can tell you word for word exactly what you said, and pretty much recite it back to them. And I'm always sitting there quoting cartoons and shows and stuff like that, and people are always telling me how the hell do you remember all this? I'm like, I don't know, I could probably run through the entire episode for you if I wanted to, if I really put my mind to it, and I don't remember why I remember all this stupid shit. It's just, I don't know, it's just how it is. So it'd be pretty good, actually, I think.
You've been given an elephant. You can't give it away or sell it. What would you do with the elephant?
I would ride that elephant around all fucking day and show everybody who's boss. Because you go riding up the street on an elephant, man, people stop people look. Man, you're running the show. If you're riding an elephant up the street, you know what I mean? Like fuck a Cadillac, man. You got an elephant. You're riding up the street in an elephant. You got it all going on. So that's what I do. I just ride around on my elephant all day, and that's just tower above people. That's just how it would be.
Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
I definitely have to lose the ability to read. I love reading, but not being able to communicate, I don't think I could do that. And being a vocalist also, I would imagine singing would go along with that. So therefore, yeah, I definitely have to go with reading there. And I mean, hell, it's metal. I could just scream a bunch of gibberish and people wouldn't know what the hell I'm saying and just be like, hey man, that still sounds really cool. But yeah, no, definitely gonna have to go with the ability to read.
When I'm a billionaire, I shall erect a 50-foot statue to commemorate what?
When I'm a billionaire, I shall erect a 50-foot statue to commemorate Iron Man. Any self-respecting Marvel fan who is a fan not only of the comics but also of the movies will understand why. So, 50-foot statue to Iron Man. I'm not saying any more on the subject, that's just how it's going to be. 50-foot statue to Iron Man.
What would be the creepiest thing you could say while passing a stranger on the street?
To be the creepiest thing you could say while passing a stranger on the street would probably have to be, and it's the classic, but it's always creepy. There's no way around this, is that you pass them and you say, you look different when you're awake. That's always going to be the creepiest thing, man. I don't think you can really say anything else to somebody that could be like more creepy, like because you just say it with that jovial sort of, hey man, you look casual, like hey, you look different when you're awake, and it's like you're a complete stranger, and they're like, what the fuck did you just say, man? So that's got to be the creepiest thing. It's got to be the creepiest thing you can say. I think it's hilarious, but definitely still creepy.
What are some fun and interesting alternatives to war that countries could settle their differences with?
Games of Monopoly. Just settle that shit with Monopoly, man. That's it. It's fake money, so nobody cares. You're not spending any money of your real money. And, whoever comes out on top in the end, well, they win. And that's the end of it. I mean, most people would think Risk, right? I mean, Risk is basically war in a board game. So that would make more sense, right? No. Monopoly, man. Monopoly is fair and square. And, whoever wins at the end of the day, you get to take over whatever it is you were trying to take over, and that's that. So yeah, games of Monopoly.
Would you rather lose your vision or your hearing?
Being a musician is surprising. I would still have to go with hearing because I can't fathom being blind. I just don't get it. I honestly, I feel bad for anybody that is. I mean, anybody that had it and lost it. I mean, somebody, I guess, who was born blind, you just sort of, that's all you know. But I mean, it still sucks. But somebody who had their vision and lost it, I can't wrap my head around that, and that's gotta be the most terrifying thing. So I'd definitely rather lose my hearing as long as I can see where I'm going. But no, definitely have to go with the hearing.
Would you rather have Rambo or the Terminator on your side?
Definitely go with the Terminator because, well, Rambo, all you have to do is shoot him in the head and he's dead. So whereas the Terminator, you shoot him in the head as many times as you like, and he's gonna keep fighting for you, man. So yeah, in that kind of epic battle, definitely have to go with the Terminator because Terminator can fuck anybody's day up. I mean, Terminator could rip Rambo in half. What the hell do I want Rambo for? So yeah, no, definitely going with the Terminator. So there it is. So James Brookes here from Evertrapped, and hope you enjoyed the answer to these outlandish questions.